Alright, it is 9:25 a.m. October the 7th, a Thursday, and the main watch list hasn't changed, but I will be just running a few scans to look for anything that might have been uptrending over the past few days and consider those for morning panic bounce plays. But I'll be honest, I'm actually kind of scarred for morning panic bounce plays because they don't feel like something that was very profitable anymore. It's they start to look kind of disgusting. Maybe I'm just trading the wrong stocks, but I'm a lot more cautious on considering, morning panic bounce play. I still might try if it looks clean, but they just haven't been looking that nice. So I'm going to take all these things into consideration, and I'll still consider it, but again, maybe not necessarily as much as before, and it just seems like they're just not working that well. But again, I'll still try TGGI. Same idea. Maybe it could do some kind of reversal at some point. I'm not really that interested in it. CYBL, I'm not really interested in this one either, unless it does something very. It has to be stupid clean, and if it's not, and it has like a tsunami type panic again, maybe I'll consider that for an 11 a.m. reversal. I need to remember that. SPQS. Maybe if it puts up like higher lows, maybe it can try to break out at some point. It is trying to hold its highs. PUGE could be a morning panic bounce play. That one's a bit strange. FERN, let's see if this one makes a second green day. TUNR could be a morning panic bounce play, but this one also trades kind of weird. ISWH is trying nicely. This could make a morning panic bounce play. CEI is just a wash. I'm not really interested in trading it. It's at like $1. It's not at that 90-cent level anymore. And yeah, that's what I have for right now. Alright, it is 9:46. Yeah, unfortunately, morning panic bounce plays does not seem like it's a thing anymore. I mean, yesterday it did do that nice 11:30 a.m. reversal, but as for just regular morning panic bounce plays, they just seem to consistently fail. So unfortunately for me, that means I have to adapt and find another setup to get good at. TUNR wasn't really a morning panic bounce play at any point. Maybe here holding this 91 level, but the drop wasn't that nice. It had a sketchy wick and then it broke it and then it turned around. So that's also the theme I've been seeing. So if that happens, it just means there's going to be less dip buyers, so the pattern's not going to work as well. It's going to be harder for it to reverse. I guess. I mean, it's not an exact science. ISWH, nothing. It's just nothing here either. It's just nothing. PUGE, I guess, kind of worked. I was interested in this one. I think I had an attempted buy. Yeah, at 937.87, right about here. 937.87. It was too quick. I wouldn't have been executed, but there was a chance that I could have been at 87. It did hold this 86 support level, this risk level in theory, and now it's at 93. This one kind of worked, but from my experience, when a stock does this, right, a lot of them fail, but this one didn't, so congrats. And if this is the best case scenario, I just have to stop looking at morning panic bounce plays, unfortunately. TGGI, it opened at 93, so it wasn't really down that much. It just had some weird price action. I was looking at CYBL because sometimes they trade in a little range like this early in the morning, and then when they break out of it, it looks super nice. It looks like it was going to, and then I guess somebody called Baganoff, and just freaking big red candle just pop out of nowhere. It's almost like a freaking almost like a listed stock. Just random big red candle that just wipes everyone out. It did turn around, but that would have been super damn sketchy to be a part of. Yeah, and then I would have had to have traded a larger size with E-Trade right after yesterday trading. This one, no thanks. But congrats to anybody who managed to buy this. You're now, if you're in at 32, you're up a penny and a half, almost a penny and a half. FERN, this might do it. It might do the thing I was talking about with the other one. I might be looking at this actually. SPQS, nothing. That's all I have for right now. I'll be looking at FERN. Alright, it is 9:59. I'm trading a little too scared, so FERN actually did do a nice move to 41. This was a bit crazy, a big volume spike right here. And I was just too damn scared. I was actually trying FERN, right? Yeah, I was trying. I never placed an order, but I was actually trying a nice size. I was trying in theory to do 25,000 shares, which would have been at the time it was what is this level, 389, I believe. Yep, 389 was on the level, right? 970, yeah, $900 position. And you know, I probably wouldn't have been still holding this. I probably would have likely have sold in this 407, 406 level. So I mean, that was pretty profitable there. I just didn't trade it because I was too damn scared. I feel like, you know, I've just not been getting like just not really consistent. Sometimes I trade a setup, and you know, even though I sold for a small loss, it didn't work out. It worked out, you know, later on if I had have kept holding it. But so many of these recent trades, like I'm just right at the merge of like taking a huge L if I didn't cut losses quickly. But this one did it. That little, I don't know what you want to call it, the little, I guess before 10 o'clock breakout over the range it trades in. You know, it's nice. It's 39. It got to 41. It's trying to get to 42. It could do it. And the main thing that just got me out of it, maybe the size was too large, but I honestly need to keep working on that. I was just too damn scared because there was so many people at 40 on the ask, and I just felt like, you know, am I going to be the dumbass who buys right towards a wall and the wall's going to reject the price action? And you know, honestly, the answer is maybe, but if it does, I need to just cut losses quickly. And if it doesn't, well, that's great. I get to sell for a nice profit. Like, you know, it could have been right here. So I'm not, yeah, really happy with my trading. Maybe I should just head back and do some more work that I need to catch up with, and just take a mental break. But this is some nice price action. It did hit 42. I would not have still have been holding it, but you know, I would have been happy with a sell at 407, 406. So yeah, that's pretty nice. And it is trying that whole reversal thing. You know, it is trying to do that second green day. So you know, it's trying to do some kind of reversal. Now it could fail. It might only spike 2 days, sure, but you know, the setup was totally there when it broke out of this range at 39. And I was just too damn chicken. Now, I did trade this PUGE. I guess I made back the the $2 I lost yesterday. But this was like a morning panic bounce play, higher low setup. So we have the drop, choppy morning panic, bounces, and now we have the higher low. Right, so at least I did push myself to trade this. This wasn't a huge size. It was a $400 position. The percent gain wasn't really that nice, but I mean, the trade was there. So 957 was my entry. Actually, there's a little breakout thing. I guess right when it was looking like 88 was going to be taken out, I went ahead and hit 88 right before it probably did that breakout there, I guess. And then I sold. I almost held for 2 minutes, yeah, I sold 958 at the very end of the candle, probably because it hit 90 and then it downtrended, and I sold at 895. It just rounded up to 90. I didn't sell at 90. I sold at 895, so right here. It did look like it was going to top here, but it looks like it's trying to do more. Oh, we have a big bidder too, so that could probably be the main reason why. Now it's at 93. I'm just curious. 50,000 shares at 88. I'm not trying to buy this, but I'm just curious. That's a $440 position. If I were to sell at the bid, that would have been 20 bucks. I just didn't really hold this thing long enough. Again, going with what I was saying with FERN, I just kind of feel shaken out just from taking so many L's, but I'm glad I was able to get one trade. I was also looking at ENZZ for the same thing as FERN. You see it kind of has a range, and maybe it could break out of it. The problem with ENZC is that it was up on news. It's not necessarily like a second green day, which is more solid. It's just because of some news that came out, so it wasn't the same. It didn't work out here. It didn't break past this level. You can even call this a mini head and shoulders. I was looking at this. I didn't trade this one because of that reason, but it could have worked out. It could try something later too, but ideally it would have been right then and there. I could have done this at 38.9, risking 385. Just out of curiosity, what would have that have been if I had to cut losses? And I was trying to get 25,000 shares, and it is tradable here on Schwab, so I wouldn't have had to have worried about taking a commission loss on top of a regular one. Yeah, let's look at 389. Again, 972. And if I had a cut, let's say I cut at 384, I would have been risking $12. If I had that complete process before, maybe I would have considered it. Maybe I would have been like, all right, it's just risking $12. That's not bad at all, especially the size that I'm trading. It's not like a $300 position and I just have some wide risk, but that definitely worked out here. I'm glad this worked out. I'm glad which one? PUGE worked. It got as high as 93. Maybe it'll top here. I'm glad this one worked. I'm glad FERN worked, even though I wasn't in it. Maybe that can help me have more confidence in wanting to consider trading. Although I'm still not interested at all trading morning panic bounce plays again, because they just don't seem to be working right now. But some of them do a morning panic bounce play, but it's just not really ideal the way it did it either. Like, you could have called CYBL a very late morning panic bounce play, but this would have been kind of hard if you ask me. Look at the sketchy wick from 33, right? And it's at 31. That is super sketchy, right? Maybe the higher low here could have been better. I might have even gotten out of the trade for here if I got too scared and I didn't hold to my risk level. So morning panic bounce plays are just not looking as nice, but I will try to consider first green day setups on a recent runner that could try to reverse for a few days. ISWH was a great example, although it's down just a little today. It did do that move from, I guess you can say, $2 in theory to $2.90. That's a lot of good range. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I might not consider trading anything else today, and I'll just keep these things into consideration. CYBL, if it's that crazy, might even try to break out of this range and be like an official first green day. It's ugly enough to do something like that. So yeah, that's all I got. I might not even make an update till the market closes. I might, but I do have a lot of things I have to catch up with in terms of work. So I'm happy with my little baby trade there with PUGE. Sure, it could have maybe have helped better, but I think it's a step in the right direction. I definitely could have tried that strategy of holding until a first red candle was formed, and then maybe I would have sold at 90 flat, but that would have been better than 895, and I probably would have just been happier because I traded it better. But this again was still in a step in the right direction. So that's all I have for right now. Alright, it is 8:38 p.m. and I've been wondering exactly how should I close this video, this last right here, and just go over all the stocks. And I think the way to summarize it is that I'm just barely scratching the surface on what these setups can really be. And today was actually a pretty nice day. I wasn't here the entire day. I did pretty much call it off after that last recording, and I had to catch up with a lot of work. I'm glad I wasn't just doing stupid stuff. Like, I was actually really busy, because if I was just not looking at the markets and doing dumb things, I would have probably felt bad. But here was my entry here with PUGE, which was just a tiny $7.50. Why did I want to trade it? Again, morning panic bounce play higher low. Here's a morning panic bounce higher low. in at 88, 957. Right, and I had a kind of not the best sell. I mean, I think it was 89.5. It got to 93, higher low. This might have been kind of hard to hold through, but you know, the thing is that this thing is just continuing its run up. At least this thing can be, in theory, a good morning panic bounce play potential tomorrow as well. It got to 97, and then it dropped here, but it's still kind of like a higher low from here and here. Right in here, and this thing just kept going, and then it could have been a setup here, right? Once it started to break the day high, right, and it started holding itself, that was a move from 98 to 11, which is nice, and then a follow-up spike, and then it did a move here, which was a higher low from here. This was a double bottom, so maybe that would have been kind of hard to hold through. Just to summarize, really, I could just try harder. I could try larger size, and I can try holding these setups for a really long time. You know, this one has the thing where it can just play up and down a bunch, but it just keeps uptrending. It is sketchy because it's not like the second green day or something like that on a new setup, but that was a very nice move there. SPQS, nothing really interesting. ISWH, just a red day. It didn't really do a continuation, but it's not down that much either. FERN, this is the one that I hesitated, and this one worked super nicely. I hope I can be able to push myself to trade these nicer. I was just kind of messed up early today at the market open, just because of the previous trades were just not really looking that nice. You know, sometimes I just do not do well. I sell, and they could have, you know, been a lot more profitable, but like I said before, some of the setups I was taking this week just absolutely failed, and had I have not have cut losses quickly, it would have been pretty bad. So I kind of felt like I was out of my momentum, but you know, this thing is very nice. I did a nice move here, and in theory, you know, I can try to trade something like that. I'm really happy with my tiny PUGE trade, even though it was just a tiny profit and I left a lot on the table. TUNR is trying to do a green day, not as nice as some of the other ones. ENZC never really did break out this range. I wouldn't have really have traded this, even though that was a nice move. It's just no clear pattern for me. TGGI is also trying a first green day. Let's see if tomorrow it can do something as well. You know, if it's like a little too late, they don't seem to work that nicely, like ENZC is a bit late, but it could try to do something. Why not? PUGE, this is the one I went over already, and this one was the nicest one. Although most of the move was at the very end of the day, this was just consolidation, but I did see this inverse head and shoulders. I wasn't interested in trading it because I was kind of jaded and messed up, but I might have considered a move here. So we have that inverse head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, and then it's like right at that day high level, well, the previous day high, right? It's like a confirmed breakout. It breaks out of this range right here. It drops right back towards the breakout level. It holds support. This is something I could have tried, you know, and I could have been in at 35, 36 and just hold and just go off of higher lows. And in this case, you know, this thing kept putting up higher lows. This was a higher low. This was a higher low. Although maybe I would have been messed up if I would have considered this as a higher low, and then it fails, right? So maybe a sell at 40 with an entry at 36. That would have been super nice, and that would have been excluding all of this. It did do a breakout here, but I just wasn't there for that. A lot of momentum, a lot of opportunity. I'm barely scratching the surface. I have to get better at more setups, not just morning panic bounce plays. And yeah, that's all I got for today. Barely scratching the surface. I have to get better at a lot of these things and keep growing and keep trying to get more experience.